Early, so welcome. Okay. Okay. It's working. Yeah. Got two different looks going on here. I got this little filter here on Instagram and the lighting and that on YouTube. So I kind of like my look on Instagram, but it's my look on YouTube. At least it gives me a little bit of rosiness, tanness kind of thing. But anyways, filters. I kind of love filters, but I kind of hate filters. So, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Whew. Okay, let's get into this. There is a lot. We are at hey, there's a few pages I've written down, but I feel like first of all, I want everybody just take a deep breath in and let it out as we are heading into transformation and change. I mean, I know you're going to say, well, that's what you always say. And we are at where Mars is at the front, it's leading the pack, and it's going to be entering into Leo. But before it enters into Leo, it's at this critical 29 degrees of Cancer. This is like radical of saying, get me the hell out of here. This is like extreme. I need to get up. I need to get out. And along with that, we have that Mars and Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees. So, with this, I should say Mercury, um, and grabbing a handle. So, this is where the sun later on this week is going to be going into Taurus. But before that, it is this enhancement that is coming in and activation that's going on. And we also have with the Mercury squaring over, and we'll be squaring over to the sun. This is where I feel like there's an awakening, a fixed wake up that's coming in, and it's all being activated this week. It's all being activated right now. There is where things are going to start getting loud. And one of the things, in when I'm looking at the astrology and I'm discovering it is the person who is loud. It is not that quiet, meek, look at my crystals. Let's listen to the gong. No, this is loudness. This is about if you are going, this is where the energies and the activations that are coming in. And this is a grind week. This is a week I'm going to say is very explosive. There's going to be some kind of crazy thing that's going to happen that is going to be either an attack or some kind of foreign extremist coming in some format. This is where we're hitting the astrological energy of 10 out of 10 or higher. This is extreme pressure. We're beginning. This is like where the head is crowning. The head's crowning, and we're like, oh, hey. So we're coming into this newness, right? So this is big. This is extreme. This is loud. This is where yesterday there was an earthquake in California, in Southern California. And my girlfriend down there sent me a text, and she sent it twice of a notification. She goes, this notification came out, and then the earthquake happened. And she goes, it was so loud. She goes, it startled her, right? She goes, we were, and she goes, and she's in the middle of a shopping, like she was shopping, grocery shopping, and everybody's phone went off at once, and then the earthquake happened. That's the extreme where things are going to be louder than the the activity itself. So it's like that warning, that that horn, that is what you are going to be experiencing. That's what we're entering. We're entering into this loudness. We're entering into where the alarm being louder than the earthquake, right? So we have this Venus. Venus is beautiful. She's loving. She's not going to be in Aries until May, but all the extremes before that. We have, as the sun is 27 degrees. So in the next few days, it's going to be going into Taurus. We're going to have a bull and a lion energy. along with the Pluto energy. So we're going to have the two, like the most extreme energies of energies, a bull and a lion. These are very extreme. And we're going to have a lot of fixed energy. Now the sun is not exalted. The sun is not, happy when it goes into Taurus. It's very oomph, right? It's not exalted. It's not coming up to where it wants to be. So there's a feeling of I want to shine, I want to get going, and it's squaring off over to Mars. And Mars is going to be going into an opposition with Pluto. And then the sun is going to be squaring, because the fixed signs, like they'll square each other, will be squaring over to Pluto. So we have like a fixed cross coming in, these squares, these angles coming forth. And a lot will come in about our values, our passion, our happiness. If people aren't coming up to you fully and letting you know exactly what's going on when it comes to your relationships, because Venus deposits over to Taurus, like, and Taurus is like, okay, you can let me know. And if people aren't being honest, and it's funny because I'm watching about the negotiations with Iran right now and the Iranians, and sort of the extremes that are coming in there. I'm just like, whoa, that's going to get loud. There's going to get a lot of loudness. I saw YouTube of this young man, and he's a preacher, and he was preaching the gospel in front of Buckingham Palace. Now, they've had people who've stopped in front of Buckingham Palace and have done other Islamic Muslim prayers and stuff like that. But he was praying and preaching the gospel, and they came up and they arrested him for doing that. And he got loud. He got loud. He had a megaphone, and they were saying, you can't be doing that anymore and taking it away. People are going to start saying, no, I'm not. I'm stepping forward. This is the loudness. This is where people are going to be coming forward. Where somebody cuts you off in a line, and you're going to say, excuse me. No. You're not going to be like, oh, okay, that's fine. No. Those spiritual people, and this is why I love this energy, because I'm loud. I love it. This is where it's like you have to allow people to hear what you're going to hear. If you're going to be one of these soft, mild, meek people, this is where it's like, no. This is clarity. This is truth coming in. This is the bull. Okay. This is where the bull with a lion, the bull riding, values, passion. And with the energy of Taurus and Leo, this is about life, right? This is life energy. And then you have the energy of Scorpio coming in. God bless us. And Aquarius, that's transformation. So we have this life-giving force coming in that's bringing in a transformation. This is where spirituality from this day forward is going to change forever. The way that we interact, the way that we are going forward. It is going to be in how we are allowing our voices to be heard and the intensity coming in. So this is where it can be very snobby, upper class. People might think that you're hoity-toity because you're allowing your values to be seen. You're not sitting there and saying, I can't say anything because I might offend them. Fuck off. Like, really, fuck off. This is not that energy. This is the intensity and people to deal with it. And that's where the Mars and the Aquarius come in. And there is a lot of weird shit. This is extreme edge transformation. This is out of the box. This is a war cry energy. It's volatile. And it's for us to be aware of where you go this week and where you go this weekend. This is a volatile energy. As we just, saw, as you'll see a lot of things happening, even prelude to this. So about the reporter who got arrested in Montreal at a protest, she was standing there reporting. The policeman put his hand and she says, "Don't touch me." They arrested her for assault. Brutally. She's in the hospital right now. because of the way that they twisted. Three big guys, and she's not a big woman. Like, she's a tiny little thing. They jumped her. It was like, holy fuck. Like, really? This is where this is where we're going to see who has the spine to speak out about this. Right? Rebel News is, have we heard anything from Pierre? Spine. The spine. That's where it's coming in. Like, who is speaking out? Who's going to be speaking out about these atrocities? Or are they going to like, oh, well, we got to be diplomatic. We got to just watch. No. More are going to come out. And this is where the volatility comes in. And, two scenarios come into my mind. And especially if anybody, who's Christian, reads the Bible and stuff. Two things about being loudness. Moses just didn't go, oh, grab your boats and let's just cross the sea. He said, no, seas part. Let's get the fuck out of here. Okay. Maybe he didn't say that exactly. I'm just paraphrasing, just by the way. Jesus didn't say, oh, okay, just tie me. No, he got the stigmata. Like, okay, nail me to the cross. Like, I'm making a statement here. And that's where these energies are. It's about coming out and saying these things. I have a lot of beautiful, beautiful spiritual people. But you guys are quiet. Oh, I can't say anything. I want to be nice. That's why I've always, I have a lot of nice people around me. And I always say that. I have some beautiful, nice people around me. But this isn't about you could be nice, but you could be loud. You could be assertive. Because if you're not, you're going to get left behind. That's where the energies are going. The other part too, which I found quite interesting, and there was I got to grab my, come here. Got to plug some stuff in here. A notification in one of the schools, the Calgary Public Schools here. And a notification came in telling the parents about weird rash. And if you're a child, and it's not measles, it's not, they just said weird rash. So it's not chicken pox. They're not sure, but it is contagious. Okay, that's such a Mars thing. I'm just like, okay, that is like, with that Mars energy, Mars going into Leo, that's rashes, inflammation, sunburns. This is what that is. So as Mars gets closer, you're going to find like inflammation. My son, I had to take him to the walk-in clinic, and he has bronchitis, like a really bad bronchitis. His lungs have been flaring up. He's been really sick. And I was just like, okay, we got to get you there. And he's like, oh, it's a little baby. It's like, nope, gotta go. Come on, what time? Oh yeah, get out of nope, we gotta go. We gotta do this, buddy. So we finally at 4:30, we finally went, and he got in, and he's got inflammation. He hasn't had puffers since he was a baby, right? And this kid is an athlete. Like, he plays any sport, whatever. He plays the sports. But anyways, he had to get 2 puffers. It's not like my youngest one who is, who does have puffers and stuff like that. But my number 2 son is like, he hasn't been on a puffer since I think he was 3 or 4. So he had to get 2 puffers. And so we got him the puffers, and I got him some other medicine and everything else. This is where we're going to see this. We're going to see these, inflammation. Steve's sick now. Like, Steve has an inflammation and cough, and he's up coughing and everything. So we got him everything for that. And I'm just like, nope, I cannot get sick again. So I'm down in everything here. I got to go buy some antiviral probably next week when I get a little bit of extra funds. But this is where this is coming in. This is where you're going to find geopolitical energy getting inflamed. So things on the geopolitical are just going to come into extremes. So it's going to be a message that's going to be heard around the world. This is going to be where there's going to be no breaks, and it's going to be very confrontational type of energy. The other thing is people have migraines. If you suffer from migraines, This is like, take heed with that, because I know some people that suffer extreme migraines, allergies, aggression. Um, if you're going for a walk, stretch, um, falling, bad cuts. I mean, it's not to put yourself in a bubble, but I'm just saying these are where this energy's at. This is where we're going to have high death rates coming in, and possibly deaths within people who are famous, people dying. So we're going to be seeing, an exposure of high rates coming in. So big deaths, and even maybe even people in your life. So if there's anybody that who's been very ill or have been on death's doorstep or in hospice or things like that, this could be the week that they transition over. So this is a lot. This is just this week. This is starting today with with that Mercury and Neptune. The other thing too is that you think that you're going to have all the answers, you think you're getting all the information, but you got to remember Mercury's a trickster, and he's with Neptune in Aries. So there's going to be things that you just have to make sure that you have your spiritual overcoat on, an umbrella. Seriously. Like, the more I look into this energy is the more I find that, okay, this is really deeply rooted energy that's coming in, that's really getting us deeply rooted to be uprooted, to bring us into this change. This isn't like, oh, this is going to just happen in a while. No, it's happening now. And we're going to see it either through the news. Hold on. I'm like, where's my phone? Let me just bring up some of the crazy headlines. The other crazy things is down at, which beach is it? Huntington Beach. There's a lot of animals that are like whales. They've had a whale. They've had a lot of birds and fish, not fish, well, fish too, but dolphins wash up upon the shore. Now they think it's part of the a red tide coming in, and the poison that's coming in with that, and killing them. We have, so this is just some of the headlines. I'm just going to read them off. Armed gangs take over New York City subway. What else do we have? King Charles up with tears as he announced some surprising. I haven't listened to that. We have big Ukraine war. They say the Ukraine war is over. There's some things coming up, speaking within the EU, and it's a challenge to America, which is quite interesting. We also have the negotiations with Iran. I hope I say that right. Iranians. And Trump is going to make an announcement over the next, either today. The El Salvadorian thing. People are up in arms about this one person was deported back to El Salvador, yet they're showing you information that he was up for being deported a while ago. Yeah, refuses to return deported illegal immigrant, and the lefts lose their brain. Carney was served with papers from the RCMP about some of the people in his caucus, and some of the names have been put out there on treason, and the police have been investigating this, the RCMP. And it's not just like hearsay. This is like they have actual information on each of these people and what he is going to do about it within the Liberal Party. So that came out just the last 16 hours. So that's come out, which is very interesting. Government freezes candidate accounts. So the insiders name top Liberal traders. So that's interesting. So this is like, this is like crazy shit that comes in. World Economic Forum and Carney and the connections. So, I mean, I'm just reading you just some of the basic to what was it? Katy Perry and all the Katy Perry and all of these women went into space for what was it? I don't know, what was it, 30 seconds or something? So between that and then the earthquake and yeah, this is just a reflection of the energies that are coming in. And you'll see it like even like I'm looking in Calgary. Calgary, there's been quite a few incidents of uh, weird stabbings and things going on. They've been having more and more aggression happening on the LRT downtown, which is, I mean, you know, par for the course to people running into buildings. I don't understand what that's all about. Oh, and here's another crazy, and Steve was telling me about this today, that I guess a lot of, Indian doctors that came into Canada weren't even vetted on being a doctor and were allowed to open up practices. So that was on mainstream news. So that's these are just some of the craziness that's coming in. And the thing is that right now, even in the UK, about they're calling it a war on Jesus, is where people are going to start getting loud. Like it's it's the change in the spiritual way. It's a change in this energy that's coming in that's getting us to really stand our ground. Because you think, oh well, some I know some people who follow me, or I've had people who followed me who got very mad because I said the word Jesus, or I said the word God, not gods, but I said God, and I've had a conniption fit over that. But this is where it's like you think it's just that. Like you want to put down one, religion or practice. It's a domino effect. It's a huge domino effect, because what you're going to see is that you thought it was bad what they did to certain people when a little man with a mustache was running around. Well, you take that and think of what they want to do to the Christians. And it's not only the Christians that they want to do it to. It's the astrologers, it's the tarot readers, because they don't want that. So this is where this activity is. This is an activation. So we have the sun squaring over to Mars, Mars squaring over to Pluto, and with this Scorpio energy, which Pluto and Mars rules Scorpio, this is activating the Phoenix. Now, Phoenix rising, everybody's saying, oh, the Phoenix rising is so beautiful. Well, when it's up there and then it dies, but dies and then gets reborn. But it's going through this process right now of activating, gathering the energy, taking rise the forces to extreme transformation. So this is death and with that Mars going into Leo, this is big death. And this is also triggering a lot of people who have that Mars retrograde and their Mars return in 1992. So it's going to be seen. And I thought didn't think that was funny, haha, but I thought it was kind of interesting because when I was looking at the energy, I went, oh my God, yes, my son's having his Mars return and it's retrograde and he has inflammation and it has to do with his lungs and he has to. And of course, when I tell him this, he's just like, oh, fuck off, mom. Like, I really don't want to hear this. So I don't want to hear this. So this is where these transits come in. And the divine moment, the soul's transferred out. It's the transformation of this. And this Mars Pluto, they're not exact. It's not exact till next week, still Monday, Tuesday of next week. So, and this is not real normal energy. This is not like when you look at today there's a mystic rectangle, there's a T squared, there's a grand trine, And it's like a mystic, this is a portal that's been open, a stargate that's been open. And plus we have a yod with the south node and the moon. So we have this yod coming in, and with the mystic um rectangle. So it's a stargate portal. Like it's like, are your bags packed? Are you ready to go? Because it's not like, oh, this is just a boarding call for everybody just to be prepared with their passes. They're like, no, get the fuck up here. We're going. That's what it is. Get your bag. We're going. It's not, oh, line up. Let's get going. This is where it's like, no, this is a bugle call that's coming forth. And it's important to know your human design. I looked at my human design today, and I haven't looked at it, and I was like, okay, what is my it's called your environment. And I'm like, okay, what is my, like, I forgot what my environment was. My environment is mountains, meaning that I have to be close by where there's mountains or hills and stuff like that. And I, I'm looking like, huh, the Rocky Mountains are just over there. They're right there. I've always had to be by the mountains. When I lived in the Okanagan Valley, it's cradled by mountains, all around mountains, right? Um, when I have when I people ask, I know, sorry, Char. People ask me to go to like Manitoba or Saskatchewan. I'm like, no, I just don't feel it. It makes it. It doesn't feel right. Like I don't feel. And I'm like, why? Oh, now I'm like, okay, it's too flat. I just going up further, going up into Edmonton, it's just too it's nice, but it's not, it's too flat. It's too flat. I have to be by mountains. And when I looked at my, human design, yes, I definitely have to be by mountains. And then I'm a left angle cross, which is one who's supposed to be the teacher, the leader, to take people. And I'm the one who clears up karma. So people ask why shit happens to me. And I went back to my human design and went back to my chart. I knew there's shit in my chart. And then I'm like, oh, but there's like things that you don't clue into. And then you take a look at it after our conversation yesterday um, with Christina. And it was like, nope, I'm here to clear up karma. That means everybody that I meet that has an interaction with me in some way or some format, I have a direct impact. I'm not trying to toot my horn. I'm just saying this is what's in my human design. I have a direct impact on their life or a transformational impact on their life. I don't think about it. I don't think I do. I think I'm just being whack. I'm just being me. I'm just being, the craziness and stating what I need to state. But I find with whoever that meeting is, whether that's people just coming in and going out, which is very common. Like I get a lot of people coming into my life and a lot of people, leaving. Then I get a lot of people who are with me for many moons, many years, and even for the rest of my life. And it's here to clear up whatever karma, here to help or guide whatever it is that they need the help and guidance with. That's why sometimes when people ask me questions and I come back with something very point blank, it's like, oh, and I go in like, ooh, that really hurt them. Because I'm like, I didn't mean to hurt them, but I had to re-ask that question to them, right? To pull them out of whatever it is that they're in, and get them to really look at their life. If they don't want to look at their life, they don't want to. That's not on me. That's on them. They could go back and stew in whatever little pot, that they want to stew in. That's okay. That's what they have to live through. And so that's why, I'm not prolific on human design, but I think it's a thing that people need to look at within their own human design. And, I like for me, I have to wait for the invitation. My inner authority is the solar plexus. It's emotional. Yeah, I'm emotional. Ask my husband. He tells me I'm emotional. And my signature is success. And I have bitterness. and digestion is low. So I really have to really sometimes watch what I eat. Um, and my inner vision. But it's that need, that motivation. My motivation are people. I need to have people around me. I need to have that interaction with people. If I don't have, even if it's one person, like even when I'm on here, if it's just one of you that show up, it's that interaction that just like, whoop, okay, I'm ready to go. Um, it's important. It's important for me in order for the message to get out. So like and subscribe, share it out. Um, the reason I don't do TikTok as much is that there's just something on TikTok. I don't mind TikTok. I'll post once in a while. I did one live, but it is one of those ones that it has a weird vibe to it. Not lying, but that's fine. So this is where we have to figure things out. Now, if you can't figure out who you are, and this is where this Uranus or not Uranus, we'll talk about Uranus in a minute, but this is where Neptune in Aries is. And Neptune in Aries is not there. How do I put there? The image I get is like that forthright person. To me, I see a masculine energy coming in of, what do you mean you don't know where to go? Well, then this is what we're going to do. It's like that fatherly hand that comes in and says, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to follow. It's not to follow them like a little puppy. This is like, follow my lead. And they speak very clearly. They speak fast, and you can't sit back, and they don't sit back. And this is where if you're going to hide under your bed sheets, this is where they come in and they say, well, if that's where the fuck you want to hide, if that's where you want to be, then I can't help you. If you are not going to step out and do your work, I can't do it for you. That's where Neptune comes in Aries. I can't do it. I'm going to show you. But if you don't want to listen to it, and then you can watch with little Mercury being there, because he's going to be there for a bit in this conjunction. And this is the first time in our lifetime in 165 years that we're going to have Neptune and Mars or Mercury energy. We haven't had it for 165 years. So this is like showing us like, okay, we really got to make these transformations. We got to make these changes in our lives. So if we go back, history, 65 years, spell Mary, years ago. What did we have? Remembering heroism at the sea, nearly 165 years. Maritime heritage. Oh, Neptune is that. History matters. Health and society was coming in. 165 years ago, 1860. The Civil War project was coming in. So history. Let's do. Abraham Lincoln was elected president. The slave population is now nearly 4 million, making the ratio of free to enslaved Americans a ratio of 7-1. Arizona passes Expulsion Act, banishing all free blacks from the state. Let's see. So a lot of big changes. The Britain formally returns the Mesquite Coast to Nicaragua. Established in Rome, American College in Rome. Just there's a lot of crazy. The Parma, Tuscany Modia and Romagna vote in a referendum to join the Kingdom of Sardinia. That's interesting. So, Japanese ambassador arrives in Washington en route, in San Francisco en route. So, a lot of changes within that time zone that were coming in. A battle of within New Zealand between the Europeans and the Maori people. So people rising up. Italian Parliament meets Turin. Anyways, so there's a lot of changes and stuff that we're going to be seeing, a lot of uprising when it comes into when it comes to government, when it comes to the geopolitical, and how we have to rise up to this, how we have to get standing up. Whew, it's soul embodying loud. We are getting loud, and it's not, and this is not where I'm trying to bring in some fear mongering energy, but I want people to not spiritually bypass this and not sort of like, oh, yeah, it's nothing. Oh, whatever. No, it's not. This is where you're going to look back in 10 years from now and you're like, holy shit, that was the point. Look at where this has led me. This is where it's taking me. And it's not terrifying. This isn't terrifying. It is getting us awakened. I'm going to call it like the Hunger Games. The Hunger Games energy that's coming in, that's really awakening us to get us moving and going forward. And that's only starting today and tomorrow. So we're heading forward to some real cray energy. This is where I feel like the ship's been sitting out there, and all of a sudden the winds pick up and we are going. Right? We're moving. You know, the ship is saying, let's go. And the wind comes in and say, okay, we're going. Out to sea we go. You know, but you got to watch out for that trickster energy. Got to watch out for that Mercury. Mercury is the trickster. Remember that. Right? Yeah, he gives you information. So there could be information that comes in and people think it's the truth, but it's not. Because he's there with Neptune. Neptune can shade it with illusions and stuff and make it sounding good. So this is like coming in with discernment and making sure that you're coming in with things with discernment and not just, you know, thinking that, oh, I'm going to believe that wholeheartedly. Right? So the other thing that I got, like, because I got like, this is like the boy cried wolf too many times. So massive air accidents, tanker blowing up, accident city, alarms being triggered, and the alarms being triggered are not a drill. So it's like the alarm going off in California, and everybody's like, what, and then it's like happening. So I feel that, you know, things are going to come in a way that are going to get us to wait. And I don't feel like this is terrifying. I just feel like it's something that I've been warning about for a long time. I've been telling people about this for a long time. And it is a spiritual path. This is where we are coming into, where we have to look at the spirituality of this and not do the spiritual bypass. This is the divine plan, you know, and how things are going to be unfolding. So, yeah, things are changing, but they may not be changing the way that you like it to change. So the Wheel of Fortune comes in reversed. So things aren't moving the way that you want them to move, in the direction you want them to move. This is the divine will. You know, it's where you wonder why certain things happen to people. So two scenarios come into mind. One is a scenario of I saw okay, one scenario, okay, is I watch a show called The Midwife, and this, in this scenario, there's nuns, they're Anglican Catholic nuns, and then you have the midwives, and, these one nun went out with the midwife, they delivered this baby, and it was where, it was a difficult birth and everything, what it ended up being, oh, good, and so she and there was also a scenario, sort of another part of the story was there was a guy going around beating up women, just beating up women and biting them and stuff, and actually that was actually happening in 1961. There was a guy that was doing that, right? So it was part of this story, and she got beat up, and she wasn't raped, she was just beat up, and she was bitten, she was, like, really horribly, uh, beat up, and she was, like, so angry because she goes, "I was just taking a moment and feeling, as the sun was rising," it was just before the sun was starting to rise, and she was standing by the Thames, and she felt like, "Oh, okay, I'm one with God, this is just a really Holy Spirit, this is really a divine point," and then all of a sudden, all of this horribleness came over her, and she was angry, and she was mad, and she was ugh. And during the early 60s, in that when women got abused or beat up or raped or anything along that line, it was their fault. They shouldn't have been there, right? That was the scenario. So, two other women were beat up. One was a mother taking her baby out for a walk. That's another scenario there. And then another one was a prostitute, a sex worker. And of course, they didn't, there were 2 different, especially with the mother was having problems, she had a colicky baby, she was exhausted, she was tired, she was about ready to leave her baby by the side of the river because she was so exhausted, right? And she was so guilt-ridden that she felt that she deserved to be beaten because the baby was fine, she went back and got it, but that was in her head, feeling that her husband didn't love her and blah, blah, blah. Um, the other part too is, like, the reason I'm bringing it up is, like, the nun is the one who had to come forward. She was, like, feeling so horrid in this and so angry at God. Why did, you this horrible thing? But it's through her testimony got the guy arrested. It's like almost like the God knew that she had to go through with it in order to stop this person from doing what he's doing. She had a choice. She didn't have, but she knew that was the right thing to do. There's different scenarios that you see that. I mean, there's even in the Tao where the Chinese man goes, "Oh, you got these beautiful horses and all these horses came to you and stuff." And he goes, "Yeah, that could be good, that could be bad." His son breaks his arm, that could be good, that could be bad, that's a bad thing. And then they came in and the army came in to take all the young men, but they didn't take his son. These kind of scenarios where you have to look at it's like there's a reason for them. There's a reason for them that they're coming in. There's a reason why you might look at it, you might like think, "Oh my god, what do you mean there's gonna be an explosion? What do you mean people are gonna die?" It's like, that's just so horrific. It could be good, it could be bad, the transformation and changes that need to be made within this world, right? The uprising, the disorder with the Wheel of Fortune, that's it's the uprising, it's the disorder that's coming in with that. And with that, yeah, we might feel like justice is not on our side. Definitely. You look at seeing, where people can't preach on a corner. We had that here in Calgary. We still have it in here in Calgary. That if you go and if you start preaching downtown, to the poor and helping them out, you could get arrested. It's still there. It's happening in the UK. So the justice and the way the world is turning is dramatic. We may not like it, but we have to be able to speak out about it. We can't be afraid. We have to say something. Even though we know there's injustice. So you could take it like somebody cut you off in line. Are you going to let them cut you off in line? Like, no, no, you could go back and wait in the line. I've been waiting here 2 hours for whatever it is. You could go do your time and wait 2 hours to get there. I'm not gonna cut, that's where it's at. But this is where people are just like, "Oh, uh, and do that little fucking spiritual bypassing. No, this is wake up. And it's just a small little transit. It's not even like you're not going to hear a lot of astrologers talk about this little small transit that's coming in, or the mystic rectangle, because even the yacht, it's like, because it's with the moon. Oh, it's the moon south node. No, this is a finger of God coming in with a mystic triangle that's showing you that there's a stargate that's opening, that's taking us into a new world, a new way, a new spirituality, and getting us to wake the hell up. The recognition. Oh, perfect. Being recognized for it. People seeing, oh my gosh, she's doing this. That's where that, when you have Neptune coming in, this is where, okay, I'm going to be that leader. I'm going to tell you, people are going to see you, people are going to recognize that. Could be good, could be bad. Not everybody's going to like it. There's a whole new other thing that's coming in with government ID. Could be good, could be bad. On new types of government ID. The thing is that I've said before, if people don't have their actual picture up on their Facebook, Instagram, what have you, you're going to find that those are the people to trust. If they have like an avatar, and you're going to find with this new government ID that's coming in, that you're going to have your ID scanned in order for you to have your account for social media. So it's going to be very difficult to have more than one account and things like that. But you actually have to have your picture up there, who you are. And a lot of people are like, I don't like having my picture. I don't want to have my picture. It's like if somebody sends me a friend's thing, and if their picture's not there, and it's a picture of a cat or some other thing, I usually don't friend them. Right? So take a look. Do you have your actual picture up on your Facebook? Or what are you trying to hide? What are you afraid of? So this is where, to show your true self, and not be afraid to show your true self. Not be afraid to get up there while everything is unjust and everything's turning around and going in a direction that you don't like it, but I'm going to show up and I'm going to show my face. You look at all my Facebook and you look at my Instagram, you look at everything, you got my face on there. I show up. I show people this is who I am. Not a lot of people liked it, right? So this is a new space, reformation of values and our relationship. And this is only the beginning. It's just like, oh my goodness. But it's a beginning that's saying, okay, we're coming into some beautiful transformational energies, but they're not going to be easy. I think they can be. I mean, I don't think it's going to be easy peasy. I think there is going to be where it's going to be a little bit frustrating. I think for some people who aren't prepared for this and who want to hide away, it's going to be difficult for them. And who don't want to show the truth of who they are, it's going to be very difficult. So, yeah, get your spiritual overcoat on, your umbrella, because there's going to be a lot of fallout. And you want to be able to stand up strong. So, there you guys go. Hey, my journaling, my 31-day journaling workshop is going to be starting on May 1st for 31 days. It is going to be somewhat self-directed. I am going to be doing videos and sending out videos to people a couple times a week just to help them, guide them. I'm also bringing in the creative writing with that. So it's not just journaling. I want to get creative with this. So there are going to be questions that I'm going to ask for you to have fun with. and to use your imagination with this, right? So the creative writing part. So that's going to be my May challenge to you all. If you want to join me, it's $50. I'm working on also, I'm still working on that. I got more stuff I want to add into that, but I got June, July, and August all set up and ready to go as well. So I am working on these projects for the next several months because this is a helpful guide to help you to step into your spirituality, for you to step into that beautiful, gorgeous, scrumptious, voluptuous, yummy goddess and god that you are, and help you to really open your mind to discovery of, yeah, I need to write some beautiful things, or I need to start exploring new factors and new ways of my being. So there you go. Have a blessed one, everybody. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you, and all you say and all you be. Hallelujah. uh let's get on. We're on the spaceship. Here we are, guys. We're going. We're moving, and there's no turning back. So, bye-bye. God bless, and the goddess bless.